the strings.
What do you think? Do you think that's gonna work?
I don't know. Is it supposed to be good or what?
Supposedly you could sand it in like an hour. I mean, I don't know how
What about shrinkage?
that does for the shrinkage, but it might be all right. It might just be freaking all right. So today's a new day. We're at the shop. Dave was sanding his truck today, and his bed liner is gonna fall out of it because you only did. He's gonna do the bed liner.
I went through three of those the 3M like emery cloth things. See those things?
No, let's look at them.
They're done.
He's gonna raptor line the bed liner, and he's gonna do his own bed liner in the truck. Oh yeah, that's not gonna stick.
It took all the paint off.
Well, it ain't gonna stick because it's gonna be too smooth. You need a 36 that if you're gonna tell him, guys. Tell him. So the plan is for today. I'm gonna show you how to freaking fix little dings and scratches and stuff with some little filler type of stuff. So if you have like a ding or a dent or a little rock chip or something on, like, let's say like your mirror on your car, this is something that you could do to kind of fix it, repaint it, stuff like that. Goal is to get these things primed and then start blocking the car since it's been a couple days. I was initially going to I was gonna bring the Supra down here and kind of pull the clutch and everything out of it and try to get that thing back on the road before the weekend. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that yet or not, just because since the car has been primed, it's sat for a day, 2 days, probably 3 days now. It's probably about ready to block, and then once I block it, that should be kind of hopefully the final block. And then we should be able to just throw like some 2K sealer on it that also kind of fills just a little bit, and probably paint this thing before the weekend. That's kind of the goal. What is today, Dave?
I don't know.
Do you know what today is?
Wednesday?
Well, yeah. No, today's Tuesday.
No.
Today's Tuesday.
Wednesday.
So, well, it's gonna be Wednesday in the morning.
It's gonna be Wednesday in 30 minutes.
So yeah, I went to the gym. It's like freaking 11 o'clock at night is what it is. But I went to the gym, and I'm not sure if that is a good idea or not before trying to come to the shop and actually sand on stuff, because my freaking my arms are sore and all that other stuff. But I feel like I'm in a better mood. Dave went to the gym with me too. Somebody told me that we needed to bring you to the gym because you look soft as butter.
Who said that?
I don't know. That's what Ty was telling me today. Somebody commented on it and said something like that.
I
So
just need to go to the gym because my grandma keeps feeding me.
yeah, I mean that. Jamie feeds me too, but I don't do that. So another guy told me that my freaking videos look smooth as butter. Look at that. We just doing things like this. That's what we're doing. We're doing this now. So hopefully this. Well, that's your 3-minute ramble. Let's get to work.
Let's get to work. I'm gonna go home.
Yep. See you later, David. So Dave's gonna go home. I'm gonna get to work.
We'll see what gets done.
We'll see if you come back in tomorrow and this is in the same spot or not.
He'll get back on the internet. He'll be like sending me a bunch of links to shit for sale.
Yeah, look what I bid on today, bud. Yeah, and I also need to fix these little guys right here too. That's on the agenda because these guys have little chips and things too. So let's get to frickin' work. Alright, so here are the two little trim pieces. These basically go just right here on the doors and make them not look like that. So since these are from the junkyard, you can see they do have quite a few little dings and imperfections and stuff in them. I guess they did their job as like kind of protecting the doors, but there is a lot of little things in here. You can see that one's kind of got like a little bit of a low spot, kind of a little ding in it. And then I actually wasn't paying attention, I guess, too much. And this one actually has a decent little scratch in it. So basically the plan is we'll go through and see, these things are a little bit soft, but I think they're rigid enough to where I don't think we'll run into any, or we shouldn't run into any issues with the filler. But yeah, you can see little things like that. There's plenty of that stuff on here. So I have some 220 grit on the DA, so I'm just going to DA these guys down, kind of scratch, make sure I get the inside of that little divot scratched up, and then I'll just throw a little bit of icing on them, and then kind of give them a quick little block with probably like some 150 or some 180 grit, and then high build prime. So now what I'm going to do is basically take this as a piece of 80 grit sandpaper and just kind of all the little low spots that I feel that I'm going to actually be putting a little bit of filler in. I'll just basically kind of run across those and kind of scuff up the inside just so that it has some good stuff for that icing to kind of stick to. Especially like this scratch down here too. If you can see, it's definitely anything that's shiny isn't gonna stick to, or the filler isn't gonna stick to it all. So you just gotta make sure it's nice and scratched on the inside of it. You're always supposed to double wipe your wax and grease remover, because basically what it does is it kind of brings everything to the surface, and then what you need to do is let it dry a little bit and then go ahead and give it a second wipe. You can see that kind of came off with a little bit of gunk on the paper there. Go ahead and mix up a little bit of this icing. I get a lot of questions about this stuff. You know, where do I buy it? And you could actually get it on Amazon. I'll go ahead and put the link in the description, as well as some of the other you know, tools, the sanding blocks, the spreaders, you know, all that type of stuff. So if you don't live close to a paint store, it's not convenient for you to actually get to a paint store to try to get some of this stuff. You just order it online, have it show up at your door. It's always a nice thing. This is actually probably quite a bit for this little thing, but I'll kind of try and find some of the little spots, kind of overfill them almost. Maybe not even overfill them, I don't know. Maybe we'll just do like a flush fill on them and see how that goes. Let the primer do some work. That way we're not sanding on these guys for forever. Done. So some bad news about this bumper. It a little bit worse condition than I initially thought. So you could see somebody's obviously ran into this thing. You could almost see their license plate number in there, but you could actually see the bolts that they used. Lots of little scuffs and stuff like that. And then you could see where it also kind of pushed it in right there. So it kind of has like a little bit of a dip to it, which isn't terrible. But I'm just kind of not sure if I want to use it. I mean, this thing isn't going to be like a crazy show car or anything, but I mean, I would kind of like to make it nice. I don't know. Maybe I will fill it. Maybe I'll just, I don't know. It's so many random little scratches and stuff like that. But I guess the icing would do it, and the primer. I don't know, we'll figure it out. I could order a bumper online. It's like $58 shipped, which I think that's insane that they could ship this thing for less than like $100. I don't know how they do that. But the other thing is the hood. So again, I would put like some sort of a ring around that to make that look a little bit better, and then some sort of hood pins. But again, I'm just kind of not sure if I want to go ahead and actually get a new hood or use this one. So I'm not super stoked on this one, but I don't know. That's I think that's all I want to do for tonight. So I'll come back tomorrow. Guys, we are back at the shop, and I've made an executive decision to not mess with this bumper. I hate stupid things like this where it's just like, it's literally like a $35 bumper that I would spend like an hour, 2 hours or something like that, kind of body working and doing stuff like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and get a new bumper coming, and then probably paint it later. They're literally like $35 if I go up to Denver and just pick it up in person. And yeah, then I can just put a new one on here. So what I might end up doing, since this one's already primered, I might just go ahead and spritz it. It does have the weird, funky exhaust kind of coming out of the side right there, which I'm not a super huge fan of. But I'm kind of thinking about just running that for now. Maybe just getting like some sort of a plate to cover it up, and then just going ahead and kind of taking the car to the dyno, kind of seeing what it will make on this like lower kind of budget-ish like type of thing, like with the eBay Turbo, all that type of stuff. You know, like the smaller injectors, those are some RC 750s. So maybe what we'll do is try to do that. I know the injectors will pretty much limit us, but and then maybe what we'll do is throw like a nicer turbo on it, make a little bit more power, and you know, kind of do it in some stages, turn it up. That might be the plan. So I might do that, and I have one of those rear diffuser things that'll go on it. We're still working on color ideas. So tomorrow, this is going to be like a 3-day video. I am going to go over to DNS, and he has some color samples that he sprayed out for me, or is going to spray out for me. And so we'll go check those out, kind of make sure that we're picking the right color. And then maybe, I don't know, you guys need to vote pretty soon. I'm trying to figure out where to put like a vote thing like that at, but probably on Instagram. I'll just keep badgering you guys on Instagram. But I think I pretty much have the color picked out. And at CertiFit too, I think I could go buy like an $80 hood. So I could buy an $80 hood and a $35 bumper. And we have a new car that I also purchased that I need to go pick up within the next day or so. So lots of random little things, but I'm gonna quit worrying about that thing. I'm just gonna spray a little bit of primer on these things for tonight, and that's gonna be it. Alright guys, so I have been sanding on this one piece right here. Basically I just used this kind of like a little soft block and kind of went over it, and then basically just sanded away all the top. So now you can just see all these little basically imperfections that are left behind that are now filled. Same thing with that one. That one's basically filled now. So this one's good to go. So now this is the next culprit. So I went ahead and got a little bit longer block. It's a little bit firmer, and so basically I'm just using 180 grit on this little block right here, and it buzzes it down pretty quick without creating like too aggressive of a scratch that we're gonna have to go back and like block out later in the primer. So
2013.
Yeah. And coming home after all those years and all that time, and 10 years to the day.
Right.
Was pretty amazing.
Well, what was cool for us is we remember growing up watching you guys play out in the dump.
Yeah.
Like you were the Godfrey boys out there jumping semis and making like plywood ramps that would fail and like doing crazy shit right here that like you weren't doing it for entertainment back then. You were doing it for.
Which you were talking
I don't know. I think the right sector was one World War. There was a Life World game. Life War was Life.
All right, so that piece is sanded, kind of getting trim and everything laid out just for me to go ahead and spray some primer on it. But before I did that, I decided I wanted to go ahead and block this kind of lower piece. I knew there was a lot of body work down here, so I wanted to kind of double check and make sure. So what I went ahead and did is just used some of this, this is like a dry powder guide coat. And I really like this stuff because it doesn't really clog up your paper like, let's say like a black rattle can would, just kind of misting it on there. And they do make some other guide coat that doesn't clog up your paper as bad, but it still kind of does. So yeah, I went ahead and just did a really quick block with 180 just to kind of see where that put us. And so you could tell that, I mean, it's pretty damn smooth, but pretty much all I need to do is just kind of block it just a little bit more. And I'll go ahead and show you that process. I'll do it so you could actually see something. But yeah, so this is why I like primer. This is why you need primer. Primer is a necessity. If you haven't sanded off like a freaking gallon of body filler and sprayed a whole gallon on a primer on your car, it's probably not straight. Unless it's didn't have any issues. But like a car like this where the whole thing literally like was body worked, you need that. So as long as you can see what we're doing here, this isn't really that low, but it is low. So you can see it's basically level, like this is level with that, but that is low. So all you kind of do is just kind of get on the, start doing the crisscross applesauce. You can see it basically all just leveling out. This is going to help us find any low spots or anything like that. Any body filler that we might need to go in and add a little bit more to. Basically taking a piece of Scotch-Brite and kind of cleaning off the paper because it does get a little bit full of some stuff. Yeah, so you can see we're getting down close. There's a little low spot right here, but all you got to do is there's plenty of primer there. So basically, you just take that, give that the little block, and now this whole thing is just perfectly freaking smooth in that spot. And then I'll basically just continue that on. Do that basically throughout for the whole car, all the way around everything, and we're gonna be looking good. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and lay down a little bit of primer
I got this rapid coat system right here. This is the first time I've ever used it, but I kind of like their rapid stuff because it supposedly you could sand this within an hour. I'm obviously not going to do that, but hopefully it shrinks faster and, you know, kind of speeds the whole process along. So I'm going to go ahead and load some of this in the gun and then get to spraying. So went ahead and did 2 good coats on the doors and then did 3 coats on all this stuff right here. So stuff is looking pretty decent. A couple little low spots on there where I think the filler shrunk just a tiny bit. A couple little minor imperfections that you kind of don't really notice until you actually put primer on it, so that's a good thing, but I'm probably not going to worry about that. That's probably on the bottom on one side anyhow. So yeah, just stuff like that. These things got primed. I didn't worry about doing anything to the bottom because I do need to like kind of clean out the back of them before I do anything crazy. So we'll be back here tomorrow and probably sand a couple of these things, probably block the car and see how that all looks, and then I guess maybe try and pick a color. So continue then.